Jackson was all but destroyed by the trial. But even this wasn't the end. Jackson was not finished. 2 years on, having travelled the globe, Jackson is ready to make his comeback in Las Vegas. Vegas, the town where stars come to die. And after 2 years of running, this is where Jackson has finally stopped. There's all kinds of speculation as to what the comeback could be. Talk of him building a 60-foot-high robot of himself in the desert, of playing 90 gigs a year, or being wheeled out in a puff of smoke as part of a magic show. I wanted to find out if any of these stories were true, and met the one man who would know. Norm Clark is a grizzled veteran of showbiz Vegas. He's seen them come and he's seen them go, reporting on everyone from Elvis to Britney Spears' 24-hour marriage. If anyone knows what happens in Vegas, Norm does.
I think he probably felt he was going to be welcomed and have a deal very quickly. I think, again, it was probably a miscalculation on his part as to just how popular he remains. What are we now? Almost 6 months after his arrival here, nothing's happening.
Who are the people that he has to kind of get an okay from? Who are the kind of the big cheeses in Vegas?
Well, normally you would start with MGM Mirage, but I think that he might have burned some bridges there. The major properties in Las Vegas Boulevard consider Michael Jackson radioactive, and I think radioactive for some time.
More than anything, he didn't want to work Vegas. He doesn't want to work Vegas. One of the biggest things in the world was he didn't want to end up like Joe Louis. He didn't want to end up like Sammy Davis. And he didn't want to be on the stage after he was 40 dancing.
Jackson has nothing, no power, no control, and no money. He's exactly where he never wanted to be. And he's alone. You worked for Michael. You were very loyal. Could you tell me, why did you stop working for Michael?
I was fired.
And why were you fired?
They said they were changing directions. But the last year that I was working for him, if I had to have a meeting with him, the word was, tell Bob Jones don't bring me no bad news. I was one of the few people that would tell him the truth.
And you didn't want to hear the truth?
That's possibly so. And I got no severance. And I had to go to the state of California and sue for my vacation pay. Please add that. After 17 years.
I've seen a hand, I've seen a vision. It was reaching through the clouds.
I wanted to see where the king had ended up. Rumour had it that he was living in a rented house in a suburban street on the anonymous outskirts of Vegas. It's kind of like the worst thing that could happen to him is just to be normal, really, isn't it? It's kind of his fate is to just become anonymous and suburban rather than the freak.
Yeah, I would say that would be, this is definitely not Neverland.
The old man's back again.
If you see an SUV out front with some bodyguards, we probably hit the jackpot. Or jackal pot.
That's the one, isn't
I've
it?
got an ominous look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
The old man's back again. The old man's back again. I can see him back again.
This is as close as you're going to get. What an amazing journey for Michael Jackson to end up here. A man who amassed extraordinary power and wealth and lost it all, perhaps willingly, because he realised that all the power in the world couldn't buy him what he really wanted. Do you think he was ever happy?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess he was, I guess he always said he was happy when he was with these kids. That was his happiest moments.
When he spent time with boys, that's the happiest moment of his life. I read the transcript of the trial of Oscar Wilde with Bosie, and he couldn't even concentrate because he wouldn't spend time 24/7 with Bosie. And the same thing would happen to Michael Jackson. This is a love story between a 13-year-old boy and Michael Jackson. And maybe in 50 or 100 more years, we will feel bad that we all went after Michael Jackson when maybe he fell in love with this kid.
Unlike Oscar Wilde, Michael Jackson was found innocent. But was Michael Jackson's story really that of true love? What's beyond doubt is that Michael Jackson and Oscar Wilde do have one thing in common. They're genius.
He was one of the most popular men in the world. And no doubt the most talented entertainer ever to hit a stage.
Is that what you feel?
Oh, most definitely.
$300 to open the bid. $300. Any interest at $200 as an opening bid? Bidding at $2. Interest in the lot at $200. $100 to open.
The bigger you are, the harder you fall. And no one has ever, or ever will again, fall as spectacularly far as Michael Jackson has. His life divides into two halves, before and after Geordie. Before Geordie, he was the most extraordinary and controlling entertainer in show business history. And after Geordie, he just didn't care.
I've known him for such a long time. I want him to have the best life, and he hasn't had it. And he's made a real mess of it at times along the way. I would like historically for him to be remembered for more than just child molestation. I'm not sure that that's going to be the case. I'm afraid that when Michael Jackson dies, the first thing that is going to be in his obituary is not Thriller. It's going to be Michael Jackson, who was targeted as being a child molester, is dead.